Biden emerged from a witness protection program to give his first major speech after the election. And he accused Trump and Republicans wanting to, quote, cut and gut Social Security, number 5.
And Social Security is more than a government program. It's a sacred promise. We made it a sacred promise. 73 million Americans receive Social Security. From their first paycheck to their entire life, they pay into Social Security. In return, they count on Social Security to be for them when they're going to need it. Folks, must never, ever betray that trust or turn our backs on that obligation. And remember, we also faced a constant threat by some members, Republican members of the Congress, to cut and gut Social Security.
Okay, all right, now. That was just a few weeks ago. This is Senator Joe Biden on the floor of the Senate in 1994 admitting that Democrats use the attack line that Republicans want to cut and gut Social Security just as an attack line, and he said it isn't even true. Cheap line, says Biden in 1994, but it isn't true. Number 3.
Social Security is automatically the public all through the 30s and 40s, because during the 30s and 40s the Republicans opposed it. It was easy to make the public believe when you'd stand there in 1975 and say, you know, if you elect that Republican, you're going to lose your Social Security. And some Democrats said that. And some of the Republicans they pointed to were as committed to Social Security as any Democrat was. But because the Republican Party historically had been against Social Security, it was an easy hit. It was a cheap shot. And it had some resonance out there. Just like when I first got in politics, even though I come from this background and ran on a law and order platform, I remember the liberals used to say, Biden is, quote, an iconoclast. That was what my newspaper called me, an iconoclast. Because how can he really be a progressive and want to lock these people up? I'm sure my friend from California gets hit with that all. How can you be a progressive and be so tough on crime? Well, I wasn't wedded to the notion. Every time Richard Nixon, when I was running in 1972, would say law and order, the Democratic mantra, the response was law and order with justice, whatever that meant. And I'd say lock the SOBs up. Well, just as it is no longer legitimate to say the Republican Party is against, as a matter of course, Social Security, the Republicans are finding out it's no longer legitimate to say the Democrats are soft on crime. Because guess what? What has every major crime bill that's gotten this far been? A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic crime bill. That's the secret. A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops. A Democratic president wants to build 125,000 new prison cells. That's the secret. And boy, is that bothersome.
He has been obnoxious for a very long time, but the point is, he is conceding that, quote, it is no longer legitimate to say Republicans are opposed to Social Security, close quote. Fast forward, just a few weeks ago, he made the same argument that he said was no longer legitimate back in 1994. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. I got a headache.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.